All right, Ryan, I got a question. You got to explain to me crowd liquidity.
Okay, crowd liquidity is sort of the Joker card in all this right now. All right. So you think about routes. Routes just help liquidity flow from point A to point B, chain A to chain B, app X to sort of app Y. That's what routes are. Accounts are the one-click experience to say send 10 across the routes. Routes are intent-based, which means that when I click send 10, it tells the network to source 10 on the destination and fill it immediately. So I don't have this delayed bridging experience across the blockchain. There's just somebody at my destination with surplus capital that's willing to just pay in my 10, kind of like a short-term loan, and they claim it on the source. That's how routes work. So where does crowd liquidity come into play? Well, if I just stop there with routes and accounts, I'm always going to be dependent on some external source of capital to fill the order, right? To supply the 10. And this is how intent networks work today. Basically, they sort of source market maker liquidity most often. A lot of that price discovery is a little bit opaque, kind of happens off chain through some order flow mechanism. And then market maker supplies the liquidity on chain, fills the order. We both go on our way. Um, and that works pretty well today, except for the fact that a lot of that capital is kept off chain and the price discovery maybe isn't as clear as we'd like it to be. And also except for the fact that these networks are going to scale rapidly, maybe faster than market maker liquidity can scale to serve them. So what we think would be an amazing solution is a solution that crowdsources liquidity to serve the network. And this is where it kind of like closes the loop. We have these routes, we have these accounts. Imagine a bunch of people that are already holding eco accounts. In those accounts, there are some passive stables, their spending power allocated to the network waiting to be used. What if I could just opt that spending power into serving order flow across the network? It's just me saying that I'm willing to hold my stable coins here or there, so long as I know I'm confident that I can use them when I need them later on. And in the meantime, I'm willing to pool my capital with other stablecoin balance holders in the network to compete for order flow. From my perspective as an end user, I'm just opting my stablecoins into the prospect of earning additional yield, right? And I know I can use them anytime and any place because they're staying within the eco network. So as long as I click send 10, it'll pull them from where they are and put them where they need to be. I don't have to really care where my stablecoins are held. All I need to care is that I'm holding a high integrity basket of stablecoins where my dollar continues to be my dollar. Other than that, this is a much more scalable way to source capital to ultimately serve order flow where it needs to go within the network. And one of the most powerful things here from a technical concept is this is not some stagnant vault. I'm not just saying, well, I'm holding my stablecoins here on chain A, so I'll pool them on chain A and wait for something to happen with inbound on chain A. What I'm actually doing is I'm putting them into a dynamic network that can rebalance itself internally. And so I'm just saying I will put my passive stable liquidity in with everybody else's wherever it is in the network. And the network has a sort of a smart strategy by which it makes sure stablecoin liquidity is allocated where the market wants it, basically where people want to go. So if some hot new app launches on an eco supported chain and there's like $1 billion of demand to get into it to do the thing, whatever the thing is, the network can basically say we got a bunch of surplus liquidity over there where it's kind of stagnant right now, so we can reallocate it to hot new app to make sure that it's there to serve the route. This is incredibly, incredibly powerful. It's interesting technically, but it's also powerfully just conceptually. Think about all the platforms that exist today just because they unlocked a bunch of nascent capacity. Uber for rideshare, Airbnb for couches, now places, experiences, right? Really, really powerful platform plays can happen whenever you look at a market that has a bunch of nascent capacity that nobody has organized yet, and you figure out a way to not only sort of organize it, but to crowdsource it. And that's especially sort of powerful in this context, we think, because it allows the passive dollar holder who's just holding their money on chain to act as a sophisticated market maker pooled with other people. And that means that it unlocks this sort of powerful yield source that's really only isolated to sophisticated actors today and makes it available to the average holder. And I think that there's a really powerful ethos in that, besides the sort of like technically interesting facts. And also, sort of part of it is like every new dollar that I supply to this crowd liquidity equation is technically making it easier for the next person to hop on chain to do their thing because it's just adding capacity to do the things that people want to do. And I think it really snowballs from there. And so when you talk about kind of the eco end game, you know, You could sort of technically say we would source a bunch of external capital, continue to power the network that way, but I think it goes really from 1 to 10 in terms of its sort of order of magnitude, kind of like scale of impact when you talk about unlocking nascent liquidity on chain that's in the average person's pocket, as opposed to continuing to rely on exchanges and sophisticated market actors to power all these networks.